where did this looting start? How did the looting start from the very, very top? Because we've gone from the people looting the shops to the merchants essentially looting they looted the wealth of the nation through stock buybacks. But how did it all begin? And, with this transfer of power and wealth between nations that we've always seen in the past for the previous 12 passing of the torch between empires and great powers. The United States uniquely gave their power away themselves because of their own nobility, because of the privileged class. And there's a fantastic article. It's very long, but I'm going to pick out some of the segments, and you should go read it yourself. Look this up. It's on unheard.com. UNHERD. COVID has exposed America as a failed state. It's hard to view the U.S. at this point as anything other than a cautionary tale. They go over the fact that the U.S. has blown $5 trillion on pointless wars in the Middle East, and mostly driven by, the liberal intelligentsia like Clinton's, like Blair's, like Rachel Maddow, like those sort of people who are saying, like, we're going to spread our democracy. And instead it's blown the wealth of the nation and the ability of the nation. But now it wants the world to join in a fight against China. But they point out that the truth is that globalization, the central political dream of Clinton and Blair, Obama and Cameron, was never real. It was a process by which advanced Western economies unilaterally surrendered their manufacturing capacity to a rival growing power, China, which instead of reciprocating, according to the Panglossian calculations of the neoliberal theorist, practiced a traditional and ruthless mercantilism in pursuit of its own interests.
Never mix globalism with mercantilism. You end up with mercantilism, right? So America, as you point out, they had this ideal, the third way, the globalization, the neoliberalism, the Washington consensus, that other countries would be happy to send us an equal amount of goods and services that we're sending them because they like us, because they enjoy Tom Cruise movies, because Hollywood. But these countries said, you know what, I think you're going to give us all of your manufacturing, we'll keep that, and we'll take everything else too. So now here we are 20, 30 years later, and folks are beginning to realize that to restart a manufacturing economy here in America is going to require more money than was required during World War II. But wait for it, the country's already $25 trillion in debt.
But when you look at the news, when you look at what is being presented as the resistance, as the response to this ongoing turmoil, but the collapse of the American system, the mass opioid overdoses, the mass death, the mass anguish, there's obviously deaths of despair. There's something going on that nobody wants to look at, certainly in the elite. But the looting that is nonstop in this economy was intentional. As they point from this quote from Michael Lind in the tablet, he said, politicians pushing globalization like Clinton may have told the public that the purpose of NAFTA and of China's admission to the World Trade Organization was to open the closed markets of Mexico and China to American products made on American soil, everything from corn to chemicals to computers. But U.S. multinationals and their lobbyists 20 years ago knew that this was not true. Their goal from the beginning was to transfer the production of many products from American soil to Mexican soil or Chinese soil, or to take advantage of foreign low-wage, non-union labor, and in some cases, foreign government subsidies and other favors.
Some people are calling this protest across America right now, Bolshevik revolution, to kind of make a reference to the workers' uprising that we saw in the old imperial Russia. And you've got a new imperium here in America of elites or cantillionaires. And the workers suddenly realized that, wait a minute, we don't want to live under a dictatorship. We don't want to live under a monarchy. Let's have a good old-fashioned Bolshevik revolution, which is what's seemingly happening from coast to coast.
The population is saying, just vote in Biden. Biden was part of this 20 years ago. He was in power. He helped China ascend to the WTO. They knew their intention was to undermine the American population by aggregating wealth for themselves by sending these jobs overseas. So, that is not the answer. The looting has to stop, and the looting at the top has to stop first.
If you vote for Biden, you ain't smart.